Hello, this is Evangelist Dr. Robert L. McKim Sr. from Carrollton, Ohio. I've been away for a while. Went down to Florida to retrieve my father's remains because they were kind of held up because of the hurricane that hit. I wanted to get them back here safely. Another thing too, that our post office messes up big time, and I did not want to lose my dad. What I have left of him. While I was down there, I gathered information and evidence. Tried to gather some of his personal property. But the witches, and that's the daughters, wouldn't even let us talk to their mother. Here in Ohio, when my dad was still living, she was hugging and saying how much she loves us. But she was always repeating everything, asking the same questions over and over again because she has Alzheimer's. She would forget who my father was. And my father would call me and tell me he just can't handle it. He can't handle being told that he felt like when he was sent for, when he went, he wasn't wanted. And that is how her daughters made him feel as well. Now, is that something you do with your daddy? Maybe your sugar daddy, but not your daddy. He was never your daddy. He was never your father. He was my father. My earthly father. So let's get that straight. Your mother and him was not legally married. There wasn't even common law. Common law has to be 7 years. It's just the idea that they're pretending to be God-fearing Christians. Well, they need to start fearing God. The trouble is, they don't want to fear God. They don't even want to fear me. And what actually I can do to them. I think they have more rights to my father's personal property than I do. Some of the evidence I received was photographs. And that was gathered as evidence. Now I want to show you something. Here's an old picture of me and Barb when we were married. See this coffee table right here? See those coasters right there? See this is the end table that matches the coffee table. All the pictures that was on it. Those belonged to the coffee table and the end tables. There was 2 end tables. Belonged to my grandmother. They belonged to my grandmother, my father's mother. And when my grandmother passed away, my father got those. And here they are right here in his house trailer. Or the house trailer where he passed away at. Right there's the coffee table. There's one end tables with those coasters on it. And that black table right there with the lamp is called a library table. That was my grandfather's table. It came from my grandfather's house when we had to go and get everything out of the house so it could be sold when my grandfather was in a nursing home. My mother kept that. And some other things of my grandfather's. I would like to have the end tables, the coffee table, that black table, because they do not belong to the Meek family. They belong to the McKim family. And you're not going to wipe us out of history like you think you are going to. You're not stealing my inheritance. I want all the personal photographs back also that belong to my mother and father. There is also, I want to show you something here. The one daughter that's still living in Pina's house trailer here in Dover tried to say that corner cabinet there that my dad made when he was in junior high, she got it at Goodwill. No, excuse me, that's an old picture. And there it is, right there, in the corner, as my parents always had it, with their wedding topper on the top shelf, Santa Claus mug on the next shelf, and then other things down below. This is a house trailer that my parents had bought on Cross Street back in the late 1990s. So it was there then. So how did she get it at Goodwill? It's because she's mental, and they just want to claim everything that belonged to my father as theirs. You know, there is something in the Bible. It's called the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments are still in effect today. Because Jesus said, first, you have to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and body. To love God means you also must keep His commandments. Because right here in the commandments it says, to those who love me and keep my commandments. These are the commandments of God. To love God, you must keep His commandments. There's a last commandment here. It's called, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's house. Basically, you should not covet your neighbor's or your boyfriend's family's belongings. But they do it anyhow, and they think they have the legal right to do that. Now I wanted to talk about real quick is also that some people think, well, Jesus is just all love. We're supposed to love. We're supposed to love. You know what? Come on now. You don't know the true definition of love. Then, in a discussion I was having with somebody, they brought up the time that Jesus... they brought up the time that Jesus told the guys that had stones to cast, you without sin to cast the first stone. And I said, yeah, but Jesus put them in their place too, because that's what Jesus did. He put everybody in their place. What did everybody do that had a rock? They dropped them one by one, and they walked away because they all had sin in their life. They knew they were not sinless. And then to the woman, he said, I condemn you not. And he didn't just stop there. He said, And go and sin no more. Which means, hey, I condemn you not, but you better not sin anymore, because I do not condone sin. And then there was the time that Jesus was in the temple. So there's three parts of the temple: the outer court, the inner court, and the Holy of Holies. Holy of Holies is where God resided. That the Ten Commandments resided in the Holy of Holies. And then there was the inner court where the priest did all the sacrificing. Then in the outer court is when you go in and you cleanse yourself. Your sacrifice is inspected. And there was people there that was selling animals. Now you have the account of Matthew. And then you have the account of Luke. I didn't highlight that one, but then you have, like I said, you have the account of Luke. Then you have the account of John. And this is the best part that I like right here. John 2. When he had made a whip of cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overturned the tables. What did he do? He made a whip of cords. He made a whip of cords. He made a whip of cords. Whip of cords. Jesus used a whip, people. Jesus used a whip to drive them out. He just didn't go in there, oh, get out, get out. Jesus was not gay. He did not act like a girl. He was a man, and he was God. You know, you all can say whatever you want to say. You say, oh, I believe in the Bible, I believe in the Bible, I read my Bible. But did you ever read that? Did you read that Jesus made a whip and whipped them out of the temple? Now, that's not somebody that is just all loving. That's somebody that was angry. And yeah, some love also means you can get angry with them and drive them out when they're doing wrong. I don't want to be on here too long. I just want to say this a little bit. You know, I don't care about the house trailer because I know that the house trailer was not in my dad's name totally. But the personal property, they have no right to keep. Not one bit. And I'm asking for the personal property. And if you want to be that greedy and covetous to keep personal property that really doesn't belong to you, you know, I've already talked to your pastors here in Ohio, and they're not happy with what you're doing. So keep it up. You're just digging yourself deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in trouble. You think you have the right to do all this? You don't. You don't. You really don't have the right. And everybody knows it's not right what you're doing. Be the true Christian that you say you are on Facebook and do the right thing. Give me my dad's personal property that sustain the family. Otherwise, God bless you. Have a blessed day.